The actor, Jeff Bridges, is asking the most basic question that should embarrass the most powerful country on earth. Why do American children go hungry? It's not because we don't have money. It's not because we don't have enough food. It's not because we don't have the capacity, the administrative capacity to feed them. No, it's because Trump and Republicans chose to cut food assistance that would feed them.
So according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the states with the biggest decline in children receiving SNAP benefits are primarily states led by Republican lawmakers who supported the Trump administration's SNAP policy changes. Nonprofits in states like Arizona, which is a purple state, and Louisiana, a very red state, they say demand for food is rising. ProPublica reports that Arizona's largest food bank has seen a 15% increase in need this year, for about 300,000 more visits for people looking for food. What are you hearing from your perch?
Yeah, it's really not about what political party you belong to. I think we can all agree that our kids in one of the most wealthy countries in the world shouldn't be struggling with hunger this way, that parents, shouldn't have to choose between paying rent and putting groceries in the refrigerator or on the table. It doesn't make any sense.
Jeff Bridges went on CNN and spoke with moral clarity about the fact that Trump and Republicans have made the choice, because it is a choice. I mean, Trump even said the reason why there's not enough money for things like childcare, other types of assistance, is because of all the many wars we go to.
The thing about this job is there are certainly sacrifices for the family, but it's also just in some ways the easiest possible situation in which to have a baby, because there's so much support. Like, we have amazing staff. We have people who help us with everything. This house, which is, I liken it to the nicest public housing anywhere in the world, but is largely taken care of by the Navy and the people who work here. And so while having a baby is always a bit of a challenge, especially in a job like this, I actually think that, knock on wood, this is going to be the best way, or like the easiest way, at least, on the family to bring a new life in.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up. But it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection.
I mean, it's between funding for wars or funding for the tax breaks for their oligarch friends. But it is a choice. And as a result, 700,000 children have lost their SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits are specifically help with things like food. So they don't have enough food, the most basic necessity. I mean, the United States of America is considered like the breadbasket of the world. The amount of food that we export is massive, but yet we still aren't willing to prioritize the fact that every American should be able to have access to the most basic human need.
Last summer with these SNAP cuts, this program that really prevents kids from going hungry like they're going to be doing this summer. I mean, this summer kids are really heading for a summer where there's going to be a lot of hunger. It doesn't have to be that way, Fortunately, Congress is negotiating the Farm Bill right now, and there's an opportunity to reverse some of these cuts or delay them anyway. And I'm hoping that everybody that's listening can urge their senators to restore the SNAP benefits for our kids and for our families and for our communities across the country.
And Bill,
it's not surprising, though, because we prioritize instead the wealth, the oligarch. And not because they just did so well and they deserve to get it, but they did so well because they co-opted things. They have co-opted things like not paying their workers enough. The reasons why the Jeff Bezos of the world can make so much money is because they don't give health care to all their workers. They don't pay all their workers a living wage. If they truly paid their workers a a living wage, we wouldn't need to provide SNAP benefits, because SNAP benefits go to working families. You can have an income and still be eligible for SNAP benefits. You could have a good job and still be eligible for SNAP benefits, because most good jobs in America do not pay a living wage. Most people have to work multiple jobs, and those multiple jobs don't have benefits. They don't have retirement benefits. They don't have health care benefits. And American families are getting squeezed. You have Republicans talking about the fact that they are all about families, but they don't want to support families, because if they wanted to support families, they would insist that these CEOs make a little bit less money and instead pay their workers a fair wage.
I think most of us believe that SNAP, like many other programs, benefits from reforms. And I think there were reforms in the bill we passed last summer, some of which are work requirements.
Not into politics, but I know what's right and what's wrong.
And what's wrong right now?
The way Trump is treating us and treating us poor people. I mean, it's bad, because he's never been poor. He's always had that gold spoon in his mouth ever since the day he was born.
What would you tell him?
Go take a hike and let somebody else have a job.
Rosa Flores joins the group chat now from Rolla, Missouri. Rosa, that was some real stuff right there. He has never been poor. He can take a hike. How did these cuts play into the other affordability issues we're seeing right now?
You know, Steph, you just can't separate healthcare and affordability, because they go hand in hand. And that's what I've been hearing in towns like this one in Rolla, Missouri. People are trying to figure out how to pay for their medicine and also how to put food on the table. Leslie Luttrell, that woman that you just saw, she said, you know, President Trump can relate to poor people, that he was born with a gold spoon in his mouth. She lives at an extended stay motel, and she's afraid that she is going to lose SNAP, that she's going to lose Medicaid, and she doesn't know what she's going to do. She said, and here's how she described it. She said, living during Trump's second term is like living in the Great Depression. And she voted for President Trump in 2016. And she didn't vote in 2024 because she didn't have transportation. But again, she's just one person. There's so many people around the country who have the same fear, Steph.
This is actually something that Costco has done and become quite popular for. And Costco CEO still makes a ton of money, but they make sure that their CEO only makes a certain amount more than their regular worker and provides health care that is actually, frankly, quite good to the people who work at Costco. It's just one example. Corporations don't have to choose greed. They could still make enough. So when we're talking about cutting things like SNAP benefits, or when we're talking about things like taking away the Obamacare subsidy that helped lower health care premiums, we are talking about taking it from people who are working hard but not getting paid a living wage because the corporations and the oligarchs just want more of the pie, despite the fact that that pie was grown by those very same workers. And then Trump and Republicans call it a subsidy, but the subsidy is actually to the CEO. The subsidy is actually to the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezos of the world. It is not to the American worker.
Recently, you described it as good news that roughly 4.5 million people have been, quoted, moved off SNAP. Now, if those families were leaving SNAP because of wages were rising and people no longer needed assistance, I think we'd all celebrate that. But that's not what's happening. The reality is that 4.5 million people were kicked off the program to pay for tax cuts for the wealthy through H.R. 1. Families and children are not leaving the SNAP program because they're doing better. They're being forced off because of eligibility changes, new administrative barriers, and states preparing for the enormous cost shifts that they know is coming. And you know this. So I'm really struggling to understand why you think pulling the rug out from under children, seniors, veterans, and families that have fallen on hard times, good news. Can you explain why Americans should view losing access to food assistance as good news when grocery prices remain high and food insecurity continues to affect families across this country?
Yes, ma'am. I would love to explain. Thank you. So SNAP increased 40% under the last administration. The amount of fraud, as I mentioned, in the red states, 200,000 dead people.
Reclaiming my time.
500,000.
I mean, this is
Oh, no,
really
you
part
said I
of
could
a disturbing
explain.
pattern here.
Oh,
Farm
no.
bankruptcy.
Who worked enough to be able to deserve the payment, but instead of the corporation or whatever entity they're working for giving them that benefit, the government has to step in and do it for their Jeff Bezos and Elon Musks of the world.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.